We spoke about how the surface area is increased and how the how microvilli would be formed, how much the larger the surface area is. Now, if you closely look at the if you closely look at this picture, this one, there is a number of cells you can look at. One like these ones, these are literally the cells which are dedicated for the absorption, and then after that, after that we have some other cells which are called as goblet cells. Goblet cells are there for mucus, and mucus is basically the protective membrane. If the mucus is absent, then it would be resulting in the severe ulcer formations. Ulcer formations. And the mucus, remember that the mucus production is reduced. The mucus production is reduced when the mucus production is reduced when there is long-term stress. There is long-term stress. And the long-term stress basically causes the intestine to develop ulcers. That is why mucus is really, really important. And remember that this is a question from CIU that I've been telling you. Why the ulcers would develop? Because mucus basically prevents from dangerous pH and self-eating enzymes. If the mucus is not there, the enzymes would start destroying the cellular layer, the epithelial layer of the intestine. So it definitely means that it would become very dangerous, very ulcerative. Okay. Now moving on to the villus, you can see, uh, looking at the previous diagram, that we drew yesterday, we are looking at these cells. These are the enterocytes. Basically, these are called as enterocytes, and these are present like this. One, then another one, and they are so much close to each other. There is not even a single, there is not even a way from where the substances can move between these spaces. So these are the cells that would be arranged uh, in the intestine. And the substances, suppose that this is the intestinal lumen. What is the lumen?
Um, the lumen.
Hmm?
I think it's. Is it like a? It's a tube, right? Inside the intestine.
Internal part of a tube is called as the lumen. Inside part of a tube is called as the lumen, from where the substances move. So now the next is when the food is moving through the intestinal lumen, and the food would be absorbed into these cells, into the enterocytes. Like the monosaccharides would be absorbed, monosaccharides, then the mm, you can say amino acids, also the monoglycerides and fatty acids, Similarly, minerals all would be absorbed. But one thing I forgot to mention over here is that the these cells have a lining just below them, the lining of blood capillaries. blood capillary. And when the food absorbs into them, the food particles would be absorbing right through them, passing right through them into the capillary. Because you might know that capillary got pores. Is this if this is a capillary cells, the capillary cells got pores through which the different things can pass. So when the food passes through the cell, it would be entering through the capillary pore. So so next is when the food passes through the cells, it enters into the capillaries. Remember that the monosaccharides, the amino acids, and the minerals, they directly can enter into the capillary, because remember that they are small enough so they can pass easily through the capillary pores into the capillary, easily through the capillary pores into the capillary. And when they pass easily through the capillary pores into the capillary, nothing is stopping them. But now you have to focus what I'm about to say. The fatty acids and monoglycerides, they cannot enter into capillaries, cannot enter. Instead, we have to arrange a specific capillary for them. Specific capillary for them, and that is called as lacteal, which is actually not a blood capillary but a lymphatic capillary. You know the lymphatic system?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Lymphatic system is another transport system. Like we have transport systems in our body. One type of transport system is the uh, one type of transport system is blood circulatory system, and the other type of transport system is called as the lymphatic system. So the capillaries are not able to capture different kinds of fats, so rest of the thing would be directly entering into the capillaries. But for the lacteals, for the fats, you have to manage the lacteals. Is it clear? Are you noting down, or are
Yes.
you doing something else?
No, I'm noting down.
Okay. So the fats are directly going to enter into the uh, lacteals. So all the substances are now transferred to the capillaries, and you can clearly see that this is a vein, this is an artery or arteriole maybe, and the blue one is the vein, and over here we have a network of capillaries, which is which is coming back with the help of the most important part starts here. You have to be very focused now. What actually happens here, that suppose these are the intestines, and these intestines are now you know that above the intestine you have the stomach, And above the stomach, what organ is present?
Is it the liver?
Yes, it's the liver. So what's gonna happen that liver is supposed to be located over here, somewhere over here. Now, all the intestines have veins. Uh, I'm sorry, this is drawn a bit improper. All the intestines, they combine their veins, they combine their veins, all the veins from the intestine, they combine into a single vein that would be and not now what is the overall rule of the body in our body the overall rule is the blood when the blood exits from an organ when the blood exits from an organ it would be directly moving towards the heart. Do you know about this rule?
Yeah, I've heard about this one.
So it means that when the capillaries or when the veins would exit the kidney, they would directly move toward the heart. When the veins would coming back from the legs, they would directly move toward the heart. When the veins would directly would coming back from the bladder, they would be entering into the heart. When they are coming back from the stomach, they would be entering into the heart. But from the intestines, the veins would first enter into the liver. All the veins would flush there all veins would flush their absorbents, absorbed food into hepatic portal vein. Once it is being absorbed by hepatic portal vein, all the food would now go to the liver. All the food would now go to the liver. This is not the intestinal vein. This is called as hepatic portal vein. All the veins combine here, they end up into the liver. And look at this. If this is the liver, and then this is the hepatic portal vein entering into the liver. And once this vein would exit from the liver, now it would be called as hepatic vein. Now it would be called as the hepatic vein. So, why all the food is entering into the liver? Because the liver is going to assimilate the food. It is going to assimilate the food. It could make the glucose, it would convert the glucose into the glycogen. It would convert the um amino acids into either into proteins or it would convert the amino acids into urea, then towards the kidney. It could convert the fats into cholesterols and other things. So this phenomena is called as assimilation. It is the liver that would assemble everything. Even if a poison is being absorbed by the small intestine, it would first enter into the liver. And first it would enter into the liver, and then the liver would be sorting it out. Sometimes the liver is damaged only because we are having the wrong food. We are having the wrong food. The alcohol is still there is still alcohol. The alcohol is like you can say when it absorbs on the intestine, the alcohol would be just entering into the liver, and it becomes very dangerous because it is a very strong oxidizing agent, causing the liver to causing the liver to become like to be it causes the psoriasis in the liver, enlargement of the death of the liver cells. So this is the assimilation. Is that clear?
Yes, clear.
All right. Now the next is, this is transamination, fibrinogen deamination, assimilation. The next thing is, what is going to happen in the large intestine, not present here.
Hello, your voice is gone. Hello.
Behind the backflow, this part is the cecum. This large pouch is the cecum. This cecum, only this region, this part is the cecum, and there is a very blind small tube here that is called as appendix. And then right from here, right after the cecum, the major part of the large intestine would begin. That is called as what? That is called as the colon. Colon, the colon, which would continue to the until the last portion, and the last portion is called as the rectum. This whole region is the rectum, and in the rectum, after the rectum, this opening is called as the anus. The rectum, it stores the feces, the fecal material, and it would release it according to the appropriate signal. The colon, basically, it absorbs the water plus minerals. And always remember that the colon also absorbs, I'm sorry, the colon also contains a lots and lots of bacteria. Lots and lots of bacteria. And the lots and lots of bacteria are, you can say, they are very helpful, very helpful. But and the a bit too much water is being absorbed by the colon. If this water is absorbed less, if this water is absorbed less, then it would be the diarrhea. And if it is absorbed in a high amount, then what happened? If the water is absorbed in very high amounts, then what would happen?
Uh, I'm not sure.
If the water is absorbed back into the body in a very large amount, then the constipation would happen,
Okay.
because the feces have to be semi-solid, not exactly solid. So if the if there is a large amount of water, very large amount of water is absorbed, so constipation would happen. But if very small amount or or a major amount of water is released, then it would be the diarrhea. Clear?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Now, I would like you to have a detailed look on this chapter because I wanted to do some questions today. Just if you just see the topic which you haven't revised, you may have revised this whole chapter.
So what do you mean? I don't understand.
I said that, have you revised this chapter?
Yeah, I have.